Joining us in the studio now is Heidi Turnipseed. Heidi's an animator with Five Rings Company in Southern California. Next to Heidi is Adams Douglas, Director of Product Development with Micro Illusions in Southern California. Gary?
Heidi, you're now using computers to help you with classical animation techniques. Why did you choose an Amiga over an IBM PC or Mac?
Well, it was advertised as having full animation capability. The blitter technology and the four-channel sound, the 4096 colors, and the very reasonable price were all factors.
Right. So the graphics really drew you to the machine, though?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Now, you have a program here, a Photon, I guess, that you're using for your animation. Can you show us how it works?
Here's an animation pencil test that I shot of my 10-drawing cycle of a galloping horse. And I'm able to test the animation at home, alter the drawings, redigitize them, and save them back to disk until I polish them. So these black and white
drawings are not drawn on the machine itself, they're done externally then?
That's right.
Okay.
And what was your next step after this?
At this point, I animated a rider on a separate level, digitized that, mapped it onto the galloping horse frames, saved them separately so that I can always refer to a horse alone if I want to. And then I called them up in a paint program and colored them.
Could you pull that up for us? And while you're loading that version, Adams, let me ask you about the software you're using. What's it called and how does it work?
Okay, this is the Cell Animator module of our Photon Video line of products. And they're a set of modules you can use for various video applications, either at home or professionally. This particular one is a tool for animators to use to arrange frames, play them back in any order, reload them, edit them, and it does support all of the graphics modes available on the Amiga. With any type of memory you might have, it'll dynamically adjust to that.
Now, Adams, there's usually graphics pictures that take an awful lot of storage, so how much memory does it require to do animation?
Usually you can fit on an 8 megabyte Amiga, which is what we got sitting here. Depending on the graphics mode, if you're in pencil test mode, which is takes up the least space, you can fit well over 1,000 frames.
Oh, okay.
And the longer, more complex colored sequences, you can go down. It goes down to like 100 frames. But you have great versatility in the way you can play those frames back out, so it's not as much of a constraint as it would be if you were only playing it back on the screen.
Heidi, how are we doing with the next generation of the horse here?
Well, we've loaded up the last frame.
And
I'm going to call it up here. And here we have the full color version of the previous scene.
Now, how do you do the coloring process here? Do you color each individual frame?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I have the capability of filling a shape and incorporating the line around the outside of the shape so that the line is actually a deeper shade of the fill color. This is something that is impossible due to the man-hour requirements were it to be done in traditional cell animation.
Now, how about the video, excuse me, Stuart, how about the video output from this? Is this commercially usable, like for broadcast, for example?
Well, apparently with a third-party Genlock product that has just come out on the market, it is. And I'm going to be anxious to test that myself.
Heidi, you've got another demonstration with a background in it. I want to ask you to load that up also now, and I want to ask you one more question while Heidi's doing that. What kind of hardware configuration do you need to run something like Photon Cell Animator?
It will run on a standard Amiga with, we would recommend at least a megabyte of memory, and you could load...
You could run it on a 500, you're saying?
Oh yeah, you could run it on a 500 easily. There's no special hardware video requirements. Those are added as options depending on what you want to do with what you create.
Okay, Heidi, what do we have now?
What we have here is a full-color animation sequence that I built from my original pencil drawings using the Amiga computer. I utilized the computer to color each frame, pick them up onto the full-color background that I painted using the Photon paint program, saved each discrete frame to disk. There are 80 frames here, and colored each frame myself in the computer.
Okay, very nice. What does this mean to the animation industry?
Well, it means that I, as an individual classical animator, can produce my own full-color animation sequence in my own home.
All right, so you can be competitive with big studios. Huh?
You bet.
Heidi, thank you very much.